Episode number 2405 with the Joe Rogan Experience is one of those shows that starts off like any other. Three comedians swapping stories and lighting cigars, and then, out of nowhere, wanders into a cultural philosophy seminar. Big J. Okerson, the elder statesman of self-deprecation, casually drops a term that online critics and fans have been bandying about for years: the Rogansphere. Louis J. Gomez jumps in, thinking it's the same as the Manosphere, that infamous digital swamp of self-styled alpha males, red pill influencers, and protein powder prophets. Joe Rogan, ever the slightly reluctant cultural patriarch, decides it's time to set the record straight. Rogan explains that the Manosphere is its own strange ecosystem, a coalition of men claiming to save masculinity by lecturing young guys on dominance, dating hierarchies, and the evils of modern feminism. Andrew Tate, Rogan says, is the final boss of that world, the self-appointed top G who terrifies polite society while selling courses on how to become just like him.
I gotta go smoke. And Jamie went, "You can smoke in here." I went, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yes." And then the last time we came in, I did smoke. And when it was done, call it like wearing lucky underwear or something. I was like, we had a good flip back and forth. We were all we made the Rogansphere.
We did.
Yeah. We officially got the Rogansphere. We've been repping hard out there in the streets.
You should see us. We tell everyone.
I give my credits. I go from the Bonfire, Legion of Skanks, and most notably, the Rogansphere.
The Manosphere is a real subject. Like, people believe that it's real. That there's this, like, coalition of men, like, trying to convert young boys into the evil ways of being a man. The Manosphere.
I think that's the same thing as the Rogansphere.
No, the Manosphere, it's like there's levels to it.
Wrong.
Like Andrew Tate's the highest level of the Manosphere.
Right, of course.
Right? That's top G of the Manosphere.
Of course.
If you're like categorizing those things, the thing that you're most terrified of is a guy like Andrew Tate.
The Manosphere, Rogan clarifies, is ideological, transactional, and a little cultish. The Rogansphere, on the other hand, isn't built on commandments. It's built on microphones. It's just a web of people who've appeared on his show. Comics, fighters, thinkers, conspiracy enthusiasts, a messy constellation orbiting around long-form conversation rather than dogma. Big J and Lewis crack up at the idea that they're part of an actual sphere. Gomez proudly declares that he's repping the Rogansphere like it's a fantasy football team. Rogan just shakes his head laughing, half amused and half horrified that his name is turned into a suffix.
I was never like stoked on that kind of like.
Yeah, if I'm a young like Ukrainian girl.
Yeah. I've never been to that kind of like the Maxim magazine, Spike TV like energy of what they're like. This is what guys want to see: a car crash and a girl with big
I had a
tits and
Maxim magazine subscription,
yeah.
FHM.
The thing about it is, yeah, you're right, but also it works. No, why try to reinvent the wheel?
No, it definitely works. I pulled myself out of that thing. So I was like, this isn't my, like, getting a Maxim magazine, like, hometown chicks in their bikinis. I'm like, these girls would never talk to me. I just have like too much self-loathing to be into it. It's
dude,
like,
if you could
here's
make
fancy
money.
clothes. Well, I don't fit in those clothes. Like, everything was just a bummer out of those magazines. So I would just get straight pornography.
Yeah.
And even
you can get those girls.
No, well, sometimes I'd always buy the 3-packs, and one of them would have to be like Jugs or Voluptuous magazine.
Oh, then in the middle, there's always one with a bunch of gross chicks.
Or just straight trans. But
what makes it funny is that the three of them, unintentionally, are living proof that the Rogansphere exists. The crossover audience, the self-referential in-jokes, the sense of belonging to a conversational universe where you can pivot from aliens to elk to politics without taking a breath. But this episode isn't just an inside joke about subcultures. It's also classic Rogan chaos. Between clarifying internet sociology, they veer into a dozen other tangents. Don Lemon allegedly calling Megyn Kelly clockable.
Dude, did you see that Don Lemon got in trouble because he said that Megyn Kelly looks trans?
it's just a strong jawline.
Please Google this to find if this is true, or we'll be in trouble. I don't want to get sued by Don Lemon.
He said clockable.
Sora works again.
What did he say?
The word is clockable is what I said.
Clockable.
Yeah.
Look, just pull up the actual thing. But people were saying, oh my God, like he's actually using "you look trans" as an insult. Do you know how crazy that is?
She doesn't.
Outspoken LGBTQ ally Don Lemon faces backlash after claiming Megyn Kelly looks trans.
It blew up in his face. I see.
Oh,
You know how funny that is?
Oh, didn't that happen with what's her name?
Chop.
AOC she was making fun of somebody for being short, some like other like dude, and now everyone's like trashing her because she was like, you can't make fun of short people.
Hey, go back to that. Go back to that what he said. It says Lemon said he thought Kelly looked chopped. He said, I think she looks trans, Lemon said. In response, Lemon's co-host wrapped up the show saying, let's end on that note.
That's fantastic.
Bro, that editor hates him. There's no way that editor doesn't hate him and say, let's end on that.
Clockable's a hilarious thing to call a woman.
That is so crazy. But also he's gay, right? So he doesn't know that Megyn Kelly's hot. She's dangerous, like super smart lawyer hot.
Is he out gay? I don't follow him. No, he's like an out gay guy.
Don Lemon? Yeah. Don Lemon's married to a guy.
And then there's Medker, or Kurt, as they call him. An old friend whose idea of small talk is telling people the government uses Jew lasers, or that Usher once needed a stitching surgery. Every time someone tries to show him a funny clip, he interrupts with a new conspiracy about Saudi princes or secret weapons. He's the human version of a late-night rabbit hole.
Bro, you ever get cornered by Metzger when he hits you with conspiracy theories?
Ever.
Corners.
He stayed in my house a couple weeks
He
ago.
looms over you and just like tells you, oh, you didn't know? Oh, you didn't know?
I tried to show him the Riyadh Comedy Festival rap that Krakamiko did.
Shout out Krakamiko.
Shout out Krakamiko. It's so good. So funny. And he does this, and then Kurt, it's a funny rap that this guy who's like a fan of all of ours just writes about the universe. What's going on here? And Kurt, I mean, it's just a funny thing. Every 30 seconds, he stops and he goes, the guy who runs Riyadh is actually the guy who stopped the guy who kills people. I'm like, I don't care, dude.
It's just a funny song, Kurt.
It's a funny song, dude. He's like, these people don't even know. It's not a big deal for Chris Stefano. I'm like, I think he's just making a joke. It's just a fucking comedy thing.
Yeah, he gets deep on everything. Everything has layers and layers and layers, and there's never a casual conversation with him.
I know he's unchecked.
Yeah, it's always one conspiracy into the next, and you got 5 in a row.
Yeah.
If you're on a podcast with him, you got to go, slow down, back up to the first one.
Be like, Kurt, can we
can't.
just have a surface relationship, please?
He can't. Well, he's my oldest friend in comedy. He's my daughter's godfather.
Yeah.
So it is such a funny. It's a genius of a guy. But
Great
but
joke
it's funny
writer,
since I've like not been living near him when he moved to LA and then down to here. It's such an interesting watching there's no evening person in his life to go
He has guns. That shouldn't be legal.
When he showed me the
He's
picture of him
fine.
with a gun, I was like, that's terrifying.
He's holding it backwards.
He's fine.
How do you work this Jew UFO?
Luis and Jay laugh, but they both admit everyone knows a Metker. That's the beauty of this episode. It's Rogan's world distilled. The Rogansphere isn't a fan club or a cult. It's a chaotic cloud of personalities, from gym bros to conspiracy theorists, united by the ability to talk for 3 hours without checking their phones. Rogan doesn't crown himself king of it. If anything, he downplays it. But the moment he explained the difference between the Manosphere and the Rogansphere, he inadvertently did the most Rogan thing possible. He named his own mythology.